This is Fantasy Football Today from CBSSports.com.
Adam Azer, Dave Richard, Jamie Eisenberg, Nathan Zagura. We've got a player on our mind, and I know mine. Dave knows his. Nobody else knows. We're going to give some clues. We're going to see if the other three can guess the player. And Dave, you've never done this before.
No, I've only played the at-home version of Player on My Mind, and I've done well, so we'll see how I do here.
Says you. This. You've done well.
I have done well.
We have no
It's
proof.
been documented.
Well, now you get to put your money where your mouth is, but you get to go first. Tell us about your player.
Okay, here's clue number one. I am one of several starting quarterbacks currently in the league from Texas. Hailing from Texas. I already have as many 300-yard games as I had in 2011. I am among the top 10 in passing yards, passing touchdowns.
Andy Dalton.
Adam got it first. Andy Dalton is it. Top 10 in passing yards, passing touchdowns, completion percentage, and fantasy points. He's in the top 10 in all of those.
I think Nathan thinks he got in before me, but you didn't, buddy. I beat you.
I'm on a delay though. I think there's a split-second delay.
Then it's a tie. It's a tie.
What's your best clue that you didn't say?
My rifle is red and my frogs are horned.
Okay.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Yeah. Because he's known as the Red Rifle, and he went to TCU, and that's the home of the
He
horned
sure did.
frogs.
That's how I guessed he was a Texas.
And Dalton has really been on my mind because a lot of people ask me, should I start him this week?
Sure.
He's had back-to-back 300-yard games, I think with 3 touchdowns.
58 fantasy points his last
I mean,
2 weeks.
he's a monster right now. Obviously has one of the best receivers to throw to, and that's been a big reason for it. It's the question of whether you can get over the hump on starting him every single week because there are so many other really good quarterbacks, and no one drafted Andy Dalton to be their starter.
And Jacksonville has yet to allow a passing touchdown. Or two on
They allowed 2 to Andrew Luck last week. So there's a question about just how much Andy Dalton will have to do this week. Absolutely worth owning. What would it take for him to be a top 12 quarterback week in and week out? What would that take?
Another game like that.
Or another receiver to really just step up and be solid on that offense.
All right, Nathan,
Let's not forget,
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's just not forget Dalton that he faced the Browns without Joe Hayden, and then he faced the Redskins, who just lost their top 2 pass rushers. They've given up 10 passing touchdowns this year. The Browns have given up 8, so he's faced 2 of the worst pass defenses in the league. If he can do it against a team that is a good pass defense, I will certainly be buying in much more on Andy Dalton.
Yeah, but the thing about it is their defense is terrible, and they can't run the ball with any success.
Exactly.
So he's going to probably have to throw a lot going forward.
How dare you say that about Ben Jarvis?
Okay,
Truth
Nathan,
hurts sometimes,
you're in
Nathan.
second place right now since you were second behind me, but go ahead. You can tell us about your player now.
All right, my player's first name is the same as that of William the Refrigerator Perry. Therefore, it is William. He holds the NFL record for the longest kick return that was not a touchdown at 104 yards. He was a Pee Wee League football champion. He was a state high school champion. He was an NCAA Division I BCS champion as well. He has been he's a wide receiver. He plays multiple positions, also returns kicks there.
Percy Harvin.
Number. Thank you very much. Well done. Did you know that his name was William?
No.
First of all,
But I didn't know he was a college champion, though. That much I do know for a fact.
I was thinking Will Hill. Yeah, you love Percy Harvin, Nathan.
I certainly do. He's been on my mind all off season. I love what he's doing. 27 catches, leading the league there. You add that to 8 rushes. He's got 34 touches as a wide receiver in 3 games, and you just got to like that involvement. And I actually think the addition of Jerome Simpson is going to help Percy Harvin kind of soften defenses up a little bit, and we'll see some more plays. The guy hasn't even scored a touchdown yet. Still top 15 at wide receiver. I think the best things are ahead from Percy Harvin.
Oh, God, my clues stink again. They're so boring. So I'll let you go, Jamie.
All right. First one is he shares the same last name with 2 other offensive players in the NFL, one of which was a focal point this week. He's on an impressive list behind some NFL greats, including Bo Jackson, Cadillac Williams, and James Brooks.
Ben Tate.
Ben Tate, very good.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Nice work.
I'm good at this game. Read the rest of the clues.
The other one is in 2011, he finished number 28 at his position for fantasy points despite starting just 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
And on most any other team, he would be a starter. And then the one that I was going to give away with was the guy in front of him has a very distinguished touchdown celebration.
Yes. Namas with Arian Foster.
Right.
And he's on your mind because he's probably a good sleeper this week.
He is a very good sleeper this week, a very good flex option. If you're stuck at running back, you can consider starting him. In 2 games against the Titans last year, double digits in fantasy points in both. And one of those, he was actually a starter. So I think if you look at the way that he has an opportunity here, if this game goes as expected, I hope Gary Kubiak does not punish him for the fumble last week. It doesn't seem like he's going to. That Ben Tate has an opportunity to come in here and help fantasy owners this week.
All right, here we go. Here are my terrible clues.
Debbie Downer.
My guy is a tight end.
Dennis Pitta.
He is 22 years old. Only
Kyle
has
Rudolph.
only has 6
too easy.
catches for 59 yards this year with 1 touchdown. He went
Rob
to
Gronkowski.
He went to a terrible university.
Aaron Hernandez.
Wayne
You
Allen.
got it, Aaron Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez.
Taking a shot at Jamie's alma mater.
Yeah, I
there.
knew that was the case.
13 touchdown catches in his first 2 seasons in the league. All right, I tricked you with the stats there because obviously
You
he's
also
hurt.
tricked us with a player who's not playing this
The
week.
reason why he's on my mind is
Yeah.
because I have seen tweets and emails recently about trading for Aaron Hernandez. Should people trade for him? And my question is, let's say you lost him and then you went out and you picked up Bennett or you picked up Pitta. Do you use those guys as trade bait to get Aaron Hernandez? Do you still think he's going to be that much better than those guys?
Well, the guys that had Hernandez and lost them on their fantasy roster for the short, and by the way, the boot's off his foot. It looks like he's on the way back sooner than later. They also replaced Hernandez, and they did it with the Bennetts and the Pittas and the Rudolphs of the world. So maybe they're not in a hurry.
Well, then do
to
you
go
trade
get-
him?
Here's the best
Do
thing
you
about
trade
Aaron
him
Hernandez.
to get someone else at another position?
Here's the best
I
thing
don't
about
do it
Aaron
yet.
Hernandez.
I wait till he's back and then I make a trade.
No, I think you got to do it now to acquire him, though. The thing about Aaron Hernandez is he missed 3 games last year. He was still the number 3 tight end in fantasy football. So
Yep.
even if he misses time again, once he comes back, he's going to be an amazing focal point because of his training at the best university in the history of the world, the University of
At
Florida.
Will Harvin's university.
When he comes back, he's going to be fantastic. And clearly the Patriots, as we've seen, they miss him. So, he's going to be heavily involved.
All
Go
right.
Gators. 2 Gators on this show. I like it.
Yeah, there you go. All Hurricanes next week. We come back. We got some tweets for you
FAU pride.
at CBS Fantasy FB. Stick around. This is Fantasy Football Today.